It was pretty clear early on that Goldberg never prided himself on his fashion or style choices. His clothing choices were always a 3 out of 10. Which I think kinda really reflects on how he approached things in the ring as well. My dad Stu used to always really ingrain in us growing up that a real wrestler cares for how he looks outside the ring, just as much as how he performs in the ring. It kinda stems back from the old school shooter mentality back in the day. Back in the old days, nobody would take the champion seriously unless he dressed like a champion, you know. In fact, I remember when a new guy would start with Stampede Wrestling, one of the first things my dad would do was take them shopping. He'd take him to the local Eatons, or Hudson's Bay, and make sure they had a few blazers, dress shirts sort of thing. Flair was kinda the embodiment of wrestlers dressing the part, you know. He always dressed pretty sharply, he really got it, I think. Of course that began to change when Hogan was made champion back in the 80s. Hogan was notorious for not wanting to wear anything with sleeves. I mean, even when he did wear the suit, he had the sleeves cut off. Which I know really bugged my dad. I think from that point on a lot of the boys decided it was okay to maybe dress a little bit more lax, and you can see how it progressively got worse from there. I mean, when you look at Shawn, he's the champion but wearing the assless chaps sort of thing. It really undermined the champion's look, I think. I know when I was champion I took a lot of pride in how I looked. I always made sure that if I couldn't maybe wear a suit, that I at least looked respectable. Little details in the outfit to kind of let people know a bit of thought went into it. I always tightly tucked my shirt in, always made sure my outfit was well balanced with fabrics and colors. It was important that it was a layered, well put together look. I remember guys coming up to me for a bit of fashion advice, which was something the veterans were expected to do for the newer guys. It was a sign of respect to come to the veterans and ask their thoughts on your match, as well as your clothing. It showed you were really willing to learn, you know. Especially when you contrast that with a guy like Bill Goldberg. I mean, he dressed like a total slob when he would show up to the arena. I mean, he didn't button his shirts, didn't completely tuck them in. You look at his style, you just got a real sense of the guy. I mean, I should have known that if he can't button up his shirt, he can't be trusted with your body in the ring. Sure enough, the sloppily dressed Bill Goldberg ended up being the sloppy, unsafe piece of shit Bill Goldberg when he kicked my head off.